the script. There we go. It is working. I think it's working. There we are. I'm on time today. 18:30 on the dot. On the bottom. How are we doing, folks? I don't have any viewers yet. It's not normal for a Thursday night. So, anyway, I'm live streaming purely on YouTube. There's a little bit less on the screen as what I used to have. Just purely because this computer will not support everything I wanted it to be supporting. So, we've had to cut it back a bit. However, all the help I'm currently getting from Reese there, and also Tim, and his name will come past in just a few moments, is Wayne as well. My third tier and above patrons, your help is still helping. We're just going to have to save up some pennies. As you can see down here, that's what we're doing. That's what we've got to at the minute. And yeah, we'll get to a better computer and we'll get back to where we were. Don't forget to feel free to use some hashtags. This is left over from the Conquest magazine I do on a Monday, but I think anybody who wants to put, hashtag BofOPS Live and just add it to Instagram or Facebook or even Twitter, feel free to just show me what you've got, and if you want it to be posted here, feel free. Just basically it's fan artwork, I suppose it is. Anybody who wants to come along and join in on the chat, you can always throw me your work down and we'll share it around. There are some links about to drop in the comments now about where you can do all of that. You can find me obviously here on YouTube, of course. You can find me on Twitch. I don't do the Twitch chat. I don't do the Twitch streaming at the moment because, like I said, the computer won't support it, but we will figure that out. There is a video that I posted about it. You can find me on Facebook, of course, and that's in the links in the chat. On Twitter, Instagram, all the links are there. And if you want to help support the channel to help it grow bigger and bigger and better, or if you want to get your name scrolling across here when it happens, or at the bottom of the screen when we change it, the Patreon link is down there, and also in the description of the video you can also find where you can find my PayPal address. Maybe you just want to throw £1 or £2 over there, and also you can find all the times that I am going to be live in the chat now as well. I thought I'll post that on there as well, so you can find all of that out on Mondays and Thursdays. I'm live here by myself, and every other Tuesday with @ChickPaints from Instagram. You can find her link there as well. Alright, so we've got those are the announcements. I think I need to start doing that sort of thing. Feel free to help support the channel. Don't forget to jump in the chat. I will be talking along while I'm doing this, and I love to hear from you. And if you want to have any suggestions about what you see on the channel, what you see on the stream, what you see me actually doing, feel free to join me in. But as you can see down here, we've got the attack bike. We've been doing this for the last couple of weeks. The first week I built it, and then last week I pretty much only managed to get around to doing the metallics and washing, and then I kind of got stuck with having a bunch of metallics all washed, and I couldn't really do anything because I needed to wait for the wash to dry. We don't have that issue today because any washing that we need doing, I can then move on to a different part of the model, which hopefully will mean that I can actually get on with some decent amount of painters today. So feel free to jump in the chat, have a chat. I'm going to get on with painting this guy up. We're going to do some dry brushing first. We're going to get on with some blacks just to finish those guns off, and then it's on to the details. There's not really a lot to do on a model when I'm doing it for tabletop, because that's exactly what this is, what level this is going to be painted at. It's mostly just picking out some details, adding some whites, some gold, maybe a few bone details and so on. It's really not going to be that difficult, but we'll get on, we'll get cracking on with it, and then we'll see what we can get on with and see what we can get done today. Alright, so without further ado, let's get cracking on with it and we can finish him off. So there we go. Alright, so first things first, we're going to get some dry brushing done on this. We're going to pick out some of those details on the metallics, and we can get on with it. Once I can find my paints, I don't have them as organised as I used to, which is a little bit of a shame. I will get on with that at some point as well. I'm trying to get it done, but we're going to crack on straight into Necron Compound. I'm not going to bother with highlighting, edge highlighting or anything like that. There's no need, it takes a long time. Don't forget, feel free to throw in some suggestions about what you want to see next on the stream. If I can do it, if I want to do it, it will get added to a shortlist, and then my Patreons get to choose from the shortlist what they think the next model should be. I think the next vote will be up soon. There's no real kind of time frame for those kind of votes. It's just kind of a case of I'm getting towards the end of the project on a Thursday, so now's the time we start thinking about what the next project is going to be, and that's pretty much the limit of time. It's okay, we're getting close, what are we going to do next? Alright, now what I do need to do, and I do keep forgetting to do this, is get these guys out of the way, and every time I do this I scratch the hell out of his leg, so there's going to be some tidying up needing to be done on there, and then we can move this guy as well out of the way, and we can get cracking on with painting this up. So we can see now my the stream is a bit more stable from the last couple of days. Unfortunately, both Monday and Wednesday show crashed unexpectedly. My graphics card couldn't handle. The Streamlabs stuff is great that I've got on the screen. I do have some of it left. Some of it is still available to see. The viewer counter, which currently reads 0, and the new computer fundraising bar, that's still from Streamlabs. And if anybody wants to subscribe during the show, feel free to do so, and it should pop up with a little animation when you do that as well, which will be lovely to see. I don't have any subscribers new to the channel yet that have done so during a live show, so I'm not sure if it is working or not, but we'll soon see about that. But one thing my computer's not doing at the minute is not screaming at me that my CPU is being used too much, which is a good thing in terms of, you know, the stream should be much more stable. It just means that I don't have as much, I'm not using the computer as much as I would like to be using. In the little video where I told you about what I was going to be changing, it was, you know, I did say that this computer was only bought originally when I originally chose to buy a new computer for the basis of operations. It was only going to be for, you know, commission work. You know, I was only doing commissions, and I would take a picture, put it on my computer, I would edit it, put a watermark on it and that sort of thing, and then just store the image on my hard drive, and that's pretty much what it was. I needed to be able to connect to the internet, and that was about it. I didn't really need to do a lot more than that. And then the YouTube thing happened, and yeah, the computer soon found out that it was very, very much out of its depth, and so we've had some problems. So hopefully we will it's just a hiccup, and we can move on from there nice and quickly, and that we can hopefully get back up to multi-streaming nice and quickly. You know, hopefully the new computer I've built, I've had some people have a look at the build that I want to do, and you know, on the whole, it seems that, you know, it's good. It should work what we need it to do. So that's what we're waiting for. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start cracking on with some blacks on this model. Shake them up. I'm using the Citadel Abaddon Black to do that, obviously. Well, not obviously, I could be using a different brand, but I'm not. And we're just going to pop on some on my palette just off the screen here, and we get cracking on with this. So all we're going to do with this is we're just going to finish off the guns. And also what we need to do, actually, I did miss this wheel. I'm going to have to do at some point, but I do want to do paint these tyres in black. Hopefully I'm not going to be touching them too often, and that they can dry before I do start putting my filthy paws all over them. I do run the risk of putting my thumb on one of the tyres and then all of a sudden I'm spreading black thumbprints all over the model. Unfortunately, as much as GW's painting handle was a fantastic thing that they came out with, I really do like it, I can't really hold an attack bike with it. And there are other painting handles on the market which I could possibly look into getting. On the whole, I think a new computer is higher on the list than something to hold the models. Can still currently turn. I am thinking about putting this on a base and making a base for it. Something like a 100mm base, I reckon would be good for this. I'm thinking about it. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it yet. So I will paint all of the wheels. As much as it's nice that the wheels can turn on these attack bikes, you know, you don't really drag your models across the surface of your gaming table, whatever it is you're using. So it's nice that the wheels can turn, but whether they should or not, I don't know. I suppose it depends on what you're playing on. But having a bike drag wheels across the table, that's a bit much. Now, I don't need to do all of the wheel because it's not moving very freely, which means I have done a little bit and it has moved around a little bit, but on the whole, there we are, it moved around a little bit more, and then it gets caught. So I've got plenty of black on this painted, which means that should I ever have to maneuver the wheel so that only black tyre is showing, I've done enough. I'll be able to find a hidden part of the wheel, which is fine. And then we'll move around. This wheel has pretty much seized, which is okay. Not too fussed about the fact that it is seized. That's fine, so I can just see exactly what it is I need to paint. See, I nearly grabbed it by the front wheel then. That would have been problematic. Now some of you may ask, why do I hold the model? Hiya Reese, how you doing? Some people may ask, why do I hold the model? Because obviously I'm chipping paint and all sorts all over it without, you know, I'm not wearing any gloves and I've just got my filthy paws all over the model. And I am chipping paint off of it. But when it comes to vehicles, that actually helps with my weathering, because I tend to hold it by corners, and high traffic areas will get more and more paint chipped off, and you'll find that it's much easier to get a natural effect to your weathering if the damage that I'm covering up with the weathering is also random, i.e. where I've been holding the model while painting it. Which is why around this whole model, I mean along the front of there, there's paint has been chipped off the front of the fender there. This paint has been chipped off all around the guards there, along some of the fenders, and just generally around the model, where the paint is getting worn away as I move it around and painting it. So it's nice to have that happen, so that I don't have to then try and figure out how to make my weathering effect look random. It already is random. It's a very empty screen tonight, isn't it, Reese? It's looking very empty, and but hopefully it'll be alright. That's what you want to see. Let's grab some more paint. This wheel does move around, so I'm going to have to hold on to it. Maybe I should have painted this one first, it'll have time to dry. I'll do this front side of the wheel first. Of it. It's much more stable as well, I hope. Not so much jittery. I mean, how much lag there is, I'm not sure, because I'm not, like I showed you the other day, I'm not actually watching the stream, so I don't actually know how much lag there is between me doing something and it showing up on stream. But there's not really any, there's no chat screen either, so you can't really see how long it takes for your comment to show up. But my computer isn't screaming at me, so which is a good sign. It means that the stream should be stable. Hopefully I'll actually be able to get the sign out. Best free for a while and lag isn't so much. Alright, fair enough. Yeah, we'll have to, yeah. One thing I do need to figure out the lighting on this. I mean, I'm using quite dark colours, which obviously doesn't help. But it's nowhere near as dark as that in front of me than what the camera can see. But, a little bit at a time. If an opportunity arises for me to get better lighting, I will do, but until then, it's all about that computer. Everything is aiming for that. Once we can get that done, we can then concentrate on everything else. Can you see in the chat, Reese, where the some of the I did do some links and stuff into the chat. Are they still there, or do they only show up after you've signed in? What am I trying to see here? I'm trying to move here. They're still there. Excellent. You can still see all the links. That's brilliant. That means anybody new coming to the stream, they can all see where they can find me and what time I'll be on. And I only need to redo it then if new people come in after a lot of chatting. and towards the end as well. Which is nice. Right. There we go. Well, we got ourselves some black tires. Yeehaw! Alright. So, what I want to do now is I'm going to start adding some black to those guns. Trying not to touch all of the tyres that I've just painted. Don't have to make it hard for myself. We're going to paint in these guns. With less lag as well, I should be able to actually keep up with the conversation. Hopefully I shouldn't have to feel like I'm waiting half a minute to You know, playing Kill Team with you and Tao has really helped me stick to the commie space fish goats. Well, good. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Kill Team is a fantastic way of trying out different armies. You know, if you want to play 40k, that's fine, but you don't really want to be... I don't suppose many people have got much more than 2, maybe 3 armies for Kill Team, for 40k. Whereas with Kill Team, you know, depending on your own personal budget, there is a possibility of having, well, 4, 5 armies, maybe even all of them, depending on your personal budget for Kill Team, because of how little you have to invest in it. I mean, it's a brand new game, so nobody's really, I don't think many people, I mean, some people will be able to afford all of it, but it certainly hasn't been around as long as some people have been collecting their 40k armies. And if you think about some of the veterans of the hobby, you know, they'll be saying, oh, I've been in the hobby for 20 years and I've got 4 or 5 armies. Well, that's fair enough after over 20 years. And I think once if Kill Team sticks around and people actually carry on playing with it and it stays relevant, which I think it will do, or I hope it will do, over the next 5 years, I think we'll find that in general, the people that play Kill Team are going to be able to have many more armies than what they would ever dream about having, than they would do in 40k, because it's just so much easier to do so. In 40k you tend to, and I'm one of them, I picked an army because I liked it, and then had to kind of stick with it because, you know, I couldn't afford to play anything else. And admittedly, I don't have many other 40k armies, and my second army is only happening because of Conquest. So you could say I'm still in that boat there. I don't have enough money to be able to go out and buy a new army, with the exception of the Death Guard, because, you know, it's part of a magazine and I can spread the cost. Whereas with Kill Team, I've already got 4 armies for it. Because it's easier to do it. lots of support from GW and new releases means it's looking to be one of the best skirmish games. I certainly hope so. And quite frankly, when I compare Kill Team to 40k, currently I think it's a better rule set. I generally like the rules more than I do like 40k. The turn sequence, the way it plays. Now I haven't really played in. I haven't played any librarians yet. So I haven't really had to deal with any psychic powers in that game yet. So that could change it. But on the whole, yeah. Yeah, there are a few rules that are a bit difficult to get to grips with. There are a few rules that could possibly be abused. But on the whole, yeah, I agree. And I had a response from Wayne about our Kill Team games. He kind of likes them. His preferred way of watching it would probably require 3 cameras. The dice cam, a static table cam, and an action cam. Now we already know that my computer can't handle 3 cameras. There's something to think about. Maybe for now we could lose the dice cam. For now. And that could be a table cam. But then it would still require us moving a camera around. Oh, something to think about. Now, what I do need to do, looking forward to adding the Commanders expansions. Yeah, I mean, I want to look into it first. I wouldn't necessarily jump straight into Commanders, but it's certainly something I want to try. Now, what I want to do here is I need to decide. I've got the Blood Angels Codex out here. I want to decide on what squads this bike is going to be. Now, fast attack is 7 or 8. Now, I've got some transfers knocking around. Yeah, focus on the table more. Yeah, maybe we'll lose the dice cam. Because quite frankly, I mean my dice are easy to see, but your little ones are really hard to see on that camera. What have we got here? So I've got some transfers here, which have got yellow spots on them. It's going to be a real pain to get a yellow transfer down there, but they're yellow, not the black ones. Do I have some black ones? 'Cause black. Oh, I do have some black ones down there. Right. Okie dokie. I'll use black. Right. So knee pads are going to be black. Nice to see a quality stream again. Alright, catch you later, Reese. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to hit the share button on the way out. So that's a black knee pad down there. And this is a black knee pad on here. Can add some transfers to that later on. So I think that might be all the black done. I don't really need to do a huge amount of black on these. The black on the tyres, black on the guns, and oh, the black on his chest, of course. Black on the chest and the black on the wings. More black on these than I thought there was. Add a bit of water to that. I think the wet pallette's drying out a little bit. Right. Is that what colour I do these? Yeah, I've been doing everybody black there. Yep, I have been doing everything black on the chest. Yep. Just having a quick look at my other models to see how they were done. I want these to fit in with everything else that I've been doing. I can quickly have a look at my kill team as well, just to see if I've been carrying that on. But yeah, I think I'll do that. Everybody's black with a little bit of gold on the centre. I'll do the skull in the centre in gold. On the whole, all of these bits and pieces of black. They don't tend to stay black because of the dry brush and the highlights on it. Tends to be a bit more dark grey. We'll do that, and then we'll come in with the black on the wings. Sharpen the brush. What I was talking about last week as well. There's a very fine detail work here, just picking out the wings here on the shoulder pad, and I'm still using a number 1 brush. Said it many times, you don't have to be spending a ton of money on your paintbrushes if you don't need to. If you can find a cheap brush that will maintain a really nice point, feel free to just take that brush and stick with it. There's not really much benefit if you can get everything you want to get done on a cheap brush and you don't feel the need to upgrade because you're getting everything you want done. Save your money. Me on the other hand, I wasn't getting anything that I wanted done. Couldn't cope with the cheapest brushes myself, and so I went out and spent some money. It's all a very personal choice, and there really isn't any right or wrong answer. drink. I'm doing a lot of talking on my get really dry. Oh, I've emptied my glass as well. So just while that black is drying, I'll just grab me bottle of Coke. Got this box on the back here. Can't see it on the camera. Got this box on the back. I think it's some sort of ammo crate. I'm not sure what colour to do it. I think I might do it green. I was just looking at it. I'm just thinking, what am I going to do with that? I think I might do it green. Might break up the red a little bit. Before all that though, we have got some dry brushing to do, which will be in the form of Dawnstone. That's a layer paint. I don't want Dawnstone the layer paint. Now this is the interesting thing. Dawnstone layer or Dawnstone dry. I do need the Dawnstone dry paint. You can dry brush with normal paint. There's nothing wrong with it. It's exactly the same principle actually. You just take the paint off the brush. The difference being is with a dry paint you don't have to quite take stuff. You don't have to try so hard. In fact, my Dawnstone dry paint is actually drying up. I might actually go out and buy another one at some point. But this is fine. And what I really do like about dry brushing over black when it's adjacent to silver and using this Dawnstone is if you catch the metallics you don't actually notice. I very rarely noticed if I must catch the metallics just in general because I am moving the brush across the metallic paint. It's just because of the colour you don't notice. It doesn't show up, which is really great. I don't know what people say about dry brushing put you down. Yeah, dry brushing is easy to do. I mean, screensaver came on. Dry brushing is easy to do. It is quick, it is messy. It doesn't mean it's only for new painters. You know, you don't have to sit there knocking yourself out and driving yourself insane edge highlighting everything. Some people love it though. Reese, obviously, who's now left. Reese is fantastic at edge highlighting. She does a really good job of almost everything she does. No, I said almost everything she does. No, she does a good job at everything she does. Not almost. It just generally is. She does a really good job and hand paints everything. Edge highlights almost everything. Fantastic painter. So when I'm dry brushing these tyres, I'm not going to dry brush the whole thing. It's just this angle where it changes around the corner. I'm just going to dry brush along that line and a little bit either side of it, but on the whole I'm just focusing on just following that line around there, so that when we come to seeing any highlighting that's done along here, kind of has a purpose to it and where it is. And you see I can move the tyre a little bit, but there is that bit, where is it? No, that whole thing has been painted. No, actually that was moving around this nicely enough. So the whole tyre has been painted, so I will highlight the whole tyre. We just know that we don't need to use it. It just means that when I come to putting it on a base, if I get round to doing it, we can actually use the whole tyre and just say, right, we'll find the best bit, which is a nice little bit of don't normally have that option. There we go, we got a bit there that we didn't paint, so that's fine. But we can go around, we can paint, choose the best bit. And the same with these tyres as well. Just go around the edge where it turns the corner between the wall and the flat of the tyre, and we'll just highlight along there. That's it, that'll do. So that's how we'll do that. Around the edge. Now this obviously is the wheel that can move quite freely, so we'll go around the around that corner around there, and just move the tyre, flick the brush back and forwards, just along that bit there. There we go. Gives it a nice little catch it with a nice little bit of light, and that'll be fine. Right, there we go. Just adds a touch of grey to that black there. Nothing crazy, it's nothing overly drastic. Just a little bit of something. And then right, so whoops, nearly knocked over my glass. That would have been helpful. Right. So we've got a little bit of black to do on the bodies of the Marines. Now this needs to be very, very careful. Now this is when dry brushing, you can actually be quite detailed when it comes to your dry brushing. But the thing is, it's not, I've brought my dry brush to a slight point. I mean, it's out of focus because it's not in the focal point. Bringing my dry brush to a slight point, but the trick to dry brushing with some detail, it's not about moving the brush and flicking the right angle. It's just nice and gently, just run the brush along the area that you want to dry brush. You know, it's not about flicking the paint along the edge. It's just touching the model and moving along. Hey Tim, welcome to the show. A bit late tonight. I was on time. I started the stream bang on 19:30. It's a good stream. Excellent. I'm glad. It's much more stable than it was. Reese said the same thing. Haven't got quite as much on the screen, so my graphics card isn't screaming at me. Not streaming to as many places. My CPU is feeling a bit better. And apparently the lag isn't so bad either. So we're just going to tickle the black with this Dawnstone. I keep refreshing the brush because you do take most of it off to dry brush. And come back in and just tickle the black. So we're not flicking the brush around, we're not going crazy with it, we are controlling it. And going to highlight the black for us. Don't forget, while you're watching along, like and share the stream. If you like it, YouTube will start advertising it when people come onto YouTube. It's more likely that while I'm live, they'll see it on their home screen. And of course, sharing it to your Facebook friends, or your Instagram friends, or your Tumblr friends, or wherever it is you've got social media. People will see it and come along because you're sharing something you like, and if they're following you and you like something, maybe they'll come and see it for themselves. And you can do all that even while I'm streaming, because, you know, when people come in late, that's not a problem. If they enjoy themselves while they're here, they're more likely to come next time. Which is a nice little segue to say that I'm actually not so sure if Monday's show is going to happen. Or at least not for this week, because currently, as always, I'm not so sure when the next episode of Conquest is going to come through my door. And while it's not here, I have no idea. It'll be 3 weeks on Monday when I receive my last order, and they do keep telling us that we will receive a delivery every 4 weeks. Which means there could be a week delay between issue number 7 and, is that what one I did? Was it number 7 I did last week? I have no idea. No, it was number 6 I did last week, wasn't it? This week even. There might be a week delay between the one I did on Monday and the next one. Sorry man, Pokemon Go, gotta catch them all. Ha 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 ha! Oh dear. Pokemon Go, I thought that had died out. It was a big thing around here a few months ago, and then Jurassic World came along. Jurassic World Alive, that came along. I got in on that one and then thought, nah, it's boring, I'm done. You don't have any Warhammer buddies? Well, there's more and more the reason to share it around, Tim. Get it on your Facebook page. All the people in your local area go, what's this Tim he just keeps sharing? What's he watching around? Then they come along and they watch the stream, and then all of a sudden you've generated your own club. It's all important. Always share. You know, especially for people who don't have anybody around them. You know, you never know. I mean, most people in the hobby are closet case hobbies anyway. You know, even my nephew, who's, well, he's a nephew through marriage and a really complicated family tree. But even my nephew, I had no idea he played Warhammer. Until a couple of years ago, when I started doing it. And then it was his mum who actually told me, oh, Sean does that. Had no idea. But it's not just your buddies as well, especially when it comes to the YouTube feed. If you like and share it, it becomes, like I said, it becomes something that YouTube can possibly make money off. And so, while I'm live, they like to spread the word that this particular channel is live on the YouTube home screen. And the more people that interact with the channel, the more people share, like, comment, even dislike. You know, it's the infamous YouTube algorithm. And just doing that sort of stuff while I'm live, it'll pop up that this channel is currently live if you're interested on the YouTube when you open up YouTube. So yeah, feel free. It'd be fantastic. Right. I do believe that that is the black finished. We're cracking on with this guy really quickly tonight. There's lots going on. Oh, while I think about it, don't forget. Hang on a minute. Let me change this quickly. Because now you're here, Tim, you can see that this screen is a little bit different too. Not quite so much on here, it doesn't go on. And you notice it flipped really quickly. My graphics card isn't screaming at me that it needs to, load up all of the graphics and stuff that I had going on. But while I think about it, I still have my giveaway going on to win these barrels and the little Captain Dude thing that comes with it. I think it's a bolt action. I think I did get it from Warlord Games. However, to win them, all you got to do is go through my videos, go through my pictures all over my various social media, which you'll see in the comments and down below. It's a caption competition, so just find a funny picture, caption it, post it to Facebook, and then like and share that particular post. You'll find the post on the Facebook page, it's pinned to the top, and you'll find all the rules for there as well. But make sure you check the comments, because I do change the rules a little bit, and you'll find them all in there. But there's the contest going on, so I just wanted to make sure that you're aware that that's there, because it's a competition and you can win them for nothing. It's on until, if I remember rightly, the 31st of October. I think possibly the 1st of November. I'd have to actually read the comment myself, read the post myself. So there's that going on. So the caption competition. So make sure you remember about that. Right, gold. I love gold. We're gonna get some gold going on this thing now. Why? So, I love gold. Let's get that. It's my terrible Goldfinger impression, the gold member impression. Right. Get the gold on the model. And we'll start angeling this beast up. Start getting these angel things out and really popping some colour on here. So there we go. All that going on. Let's get it on. Get all that popped on there nice and tidily. Right. Gold finger. You know what I'm going to do as well? There's a little bit of a there's a skull around the side here that has it's got a ring around it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the circle here in gold, and then I'll pick out the bone, the skull and bone later on. Let's face it, blood angels are going to stick gold absolutely everywhere. They really are the prima donnas of the 41st millennium. Reese is also giving a giveaway. Yes, she is. She's giving away one of her painted models. Deathwatch Captain. Hers is much more simpler though. Hers is just a case of like and share her post. because she does a live show with me, her Instagram feed should actually be in the comments as well. As part of one of the things that I added a command to the bot I used, and I believe anybody can type it in. It's exclamation point times, and you should be able to, all of a sudden it will just pop up when I'm on. Things that people can do while they're watching, if they forgot when I'm live, it'll tell you. Right. I will do some gold on these as well, but I'll do that after I've done the brown. And the stream is clear, yeah, I'm glad it is. I said to Reese earlier, I think some better lighting is in order, just to really clear up the image that you're looking at. Unfortunately, you know, the computer's #1 on the priority. Don't put a space in it. You should be able to do it, just don't put a space between the word and the exclamation point. Do some gold along here. Let's get this gold. Gold. That's the one. There we go. Look at that. And you did that. I will add some all sorts of other commands. You could do the same thing with the keyword where as well. Was it WHERE? I tend to do it at the beginning. Yeah, you do the same thing for where, and it'll pop up with all of my links. Just a bit of fun. And hopefully what I'll do is over time, and you can offer suggestions about what you could do there. You know, it's a very Twitch thing. The Facebook Patreon club is very quiet at the minute. Yeah, it is, because there's not really much to talk about at the moment. You know, it's not really a... I don't think it's really so much as just a place to, you know, chill and chat. I think it's, you know, because that's what the show's for. It's more of a case of if I've got any questions that I really need to ask you people specifically. I know why that one's not working actually, is because that one's got, because it's got links in it. I don't want to encourage people to put links down. So it might be because, oh, even though it's got Reese's links in it. I have got that one set to moderators, but if I change that actually, commands to that, I want to edit that one as permission of the owner, permission everyone. There we go. That cooldown is every, yeah. So if I call it down for 15 minutes at least. There we go. So that's changed now, so you should be able to do it now. Yes, I've forgotten what I was talking about now actually. Yeah, the Patreon chat group. Yeah, it's more about if I need to really talk to people. I don't really think it's gonna be a chat per se, because I think people just do all the chatting on the stream. it's because it's not Discord. That's the other thing as well. People are talking about using Discord a lot. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's gold. There we go. Right. There we go, you see. It's working now. Seems to be a bit of a lag for you, I think, because you're reacting much after, quite a while after I've spoken about something. There's all my links as well. But the thing is, once you know about that, if anything happens, especially with new viewers, if anything happens in the chat, that people are like, "Where's the Facebook group?" You can do things like that, you know, in the chat. But then I'll do it as well. So yeah, it could end up getting spammed a bit, but I have put a 15-minute cooldown on it, hopefully. So you shouldn't be able to do it after 15 minutes. Or you shouldn't have to be able to do it until 15 minutes have passed. It just makes it so that people can't, so that you can't just spam it, because otherwise that would get really annoying. Ah, you didn't type it right away. That's fair enough. Right, so we're going to shade this gold. There's some Reichland Flesh Shade. I like Reichland Flesh Shade for doing gold because it keeps it that slightly orangey kind of colour. It's kind of an yeah, it's that earthy kind of. You know, some people say, oh, they'll shade their gold in Agrax Earthshade, and I think that just makes it look dirty. Some people like that, but I like to keep mine looking really nice, so I actually want to keep it that nice warm, that red hue to it. So I shade with Reichland Flesh Shade, and then we'll do some highlighting of it as well. Could end up doing something off camera this week. Actually, is doing some gloss varnishing onto the knee pads of these guys, so that we've got somewhere to put transfers. Transfers are going to take a while. I'm worried about they're going to end up being just the same as the wash. So I might not even do the transfers on the stream, because they get really boring to watch. There's a 10-15 second lag, you think? Oh, right, fair enough. Well, if it's only that, I think we can get away with that. Okie dokie. Right. The funny thing is your typing will come through to me instantaneously, because of my bot that I'm looking at. It happens exactly as soon as you type something, it pops up, and I could respond to it at the same time you type it. The trouble is when it feeds through the system to actually be played back, that's where the lag is coming from. And I think while I was trying to film to 3 different internet areas, and with a computer that's struggling to keep up, that's where I think there was up to, I think I think it might have been up to like 45 seconds before you'd actually hear something back. Which isn't a long time, but when you're waiting for a response to something, that's a really long time. It's unbelievably long. Come on, just wait for some of that to dry a little bit. What do we want to do now? Wow, you know what, honestly, there isn't a huge amount left to do. I think we'll need to decide what the next project is fairly soon. Which I've said many times, is if anybody's watching this after the fact, my Patreon members all get to decide what the next project's going to be. It was my Patreons that chose that this attack bike was going to be what the next thing was going to be after I finished the Dreadnought. I'm not sure what the shortlist is at the minute because I've had Reese has donated some Chaos models. Some Chaos Space Marines, so we could end up doing some of those. I will be starting a Chaos Space Marine kill team, which would be nice. Iron Warriors I think I was going to do, so that'll be interesting. You have some videos of Iron Warriors coming. But what I am going to do now is I'm going to teach you about saving money. It's a big pot of liquid, hang on. Whenever I'm doing transfers, here we go, right, okay, let's put this back here. Whenever I'm doing transfers, see, look how quickly that is to change that back. You don't have to wait for it all to load up and everything. Oh, this new computer, we're aiming for it. That bar is going to get filled up, and what the thing is, I won't actually have the cash. It won't be like in cash. I won't have that in cash. As that rises, I'll buy stuff, add it to the computer, and then that money will come along. Essentially, the computer is around about at this end here. Get me spatial awareness right. Around about this, it's around about £800. As I buy stuff for the computer, and if I've got a little bit of cash already saved up at this end, it's about 13 quid, that will jump up. So I'll finish commission and I might spend £100 on the computer, and that will jump up to £100. Or if somebody wants to help support it and just send 20 quid on PayPal or something, that will jump up by 20 quid, and that will just sit there and wait to be used. What did your Patreon voted for next? Nothing yet. I haven't done the shortlist. Because this bike has we've only been doing this bike for 2 weeks. This is only the third week I've done the bike. The first week I was painting him. Well, no, the first week I built him. I primed him during that week, and then the second week I did the metallics, and then spent the day talking and chatting because we needed to wait for the wash to dry. So this is the third week on it. I won't be getting the whole thing done tonight. There's some blacks, there's some greens that need doing, there's some finer details and stuff. But I don't know how many weeks, but it's not going to be long for this guy to get done. So we'll work that one out. So I think the shortlist needs to happen soon. But this is gloss medium. Okay, this is hard coat. Right? When you go into Games Workshop and buy hard coat, that's what this is. Yeah. This one cost me about twice the price of a single bottle of hard coat, and it's 250ml rather than the 12ml that you get for about £2.55 or whatever it is in your local area. Windsor and Newton Galleria acrylic mediums, gloss medium, hard coat. Now what I'm going to do with this, I'll see if I can do the transfers, if I can get the lid off. I'll see if I can do the transfers on the show. Maybe next week. Depends. I do want to get some transfers onto the bike itself. We should be able to do it. Oh, yeah, it's not going to work. The gloss medium has glossed itself on the lid, so I can't get the lid off. But essentially, you pop that on my palette as I would do with any other paint. And essentially, so gloss medium is a medium is the binder that holds paint as a paint, and this stuff is literally, it looks white, but it's not. It's medium. It just doesn't have any pigment in it at all. If I wanted to add a paint to it and add a pigment to it, it would turn into a gloss paint. So what we're going to do is, got the gloss medium on my brush, thinned it down just like I would normally do with a paint, and then I'm just going to paint it onto the knee pad. And the reason for this is when you're doing the transfers, the water slide decals, whatever you want to call them, you want a really nice smooth surface, because you're going to use water to help the application process. And I will also be using Micro Set and Micro Sol, which are godsends when it comes to transfers. I'll show you those products in just a moment. But what we want to do is add a gloss varnish or gloss medium coat to that area there, and that'll get nice and dry. And then I'll also, while I'm here, I think I will be adding some transfers to the bike itself. So I will add, do need to thin this down just a little bit. Is there some kind of final coat to protect the paint? Just a varnish will do that. I do mine through an airbrush. The varnish would do the same thing, yeah. If you wanted to, you could use this stuff as well, but it's glossy. And something I am going to do here is I'm going to do the entire area. Just so that I know where has been glossed. Later on, when you're adding these layers of medium, the light does go through them differently, and so if you're not careful, you can miss a bit. So when you, whoops, where am I? Here. So here, I'm going to be putting the transfer on this flat edge here, but I have glossed the entire area down here, all the way up to an obvious boundary. I'm not going to be putting transfers down here, but it just gives me that nice area so that I can, I've glossed it, I'll be putting my transfers on, I'll gloss it again to keep the transfer in place, and then I'll matte over it, and I'm going to be doing that to the entire area so everything is getting the same amount of paint added to it, rather than trying to do it in patches, otherwise you will notice the patch. I do have an idea of what I want to do, and so I'm going to do along here, again doing the same thing. I'm doing the whole area, even though I'm not going to be putting a transfer here. I'm going to be glossing it down here, just so that the entire section gets glossed. And then just to break up this flat area here, I'm going to put a transfer on here, I think. So there's that. Being careful not to stick my fingers in it. It is gloss, so I don't really want to be putting a gloss fingerprint in the middle of my model. Quick way to ruin the scale. There we go. Right. What's the time? 10 to 8. Wow, it's getting late. Right. Okie dokie, so let's get some Sigmarite. I'm going to highlight the gold. By dry brushing it with Sigmarite. That's it. I'm not messing around with edge highlighting here. That's just not worth it. No edge highlighting malarkey going on here. Just going to edge. We're just going to dry brush it much quicker. Does just as good a job. Skull more than I am the disc. It's coming along here. Let's get along here. Catch that. Try not to get any of the red. Definitely don't want to be getting any on the black. I don't get the glossing stage. What do you mean? You don't understand why? Is it you don't understand why I do the glossing stage on a transfer? Okay, so when you're adding a transfer to the model, you're using water, or in my case, microset and microsol as a lubricant to move the transfer into position. Let me get the microset and microsol. Here we go. This stuff. Okay, so basically when you add that to the model, if I do the glossing stage, because basically what happens is you make it completely flat. That's what all gloss is. Okay, gloss is that's why a mirror is shiny. It's because it's perfectly flat, so that when light hits it, it bounces straight off again. There's nothing for the light to get scattered by. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're adding a gloss finish to the model. It's making it perfectly smooth, and then what that does is it reduces the friction between the model and the transfer, which essentially is just a sticker. It reduces the friction between the two, and then when you add a lubricant to that, such as water, or in my case microset, it means that you can move the transfer around without it getting stuck. Once we've done all that, once the transfer's where we want it, it's all dried, and we've used this stuff to suck it to it, which we'll have to go through during the show. We then put another gloss varnish over the top of that to make it perfectly even, and also to lock that transfer between the two layers of gloss medium. It is on a micro level, yeah. And then once we've finished the two layers, once we've got the layer of gloss, the transfer, another layer of gloss over the top of that, we then matte it all down by adding a matte finish, which essentially just roughs up the area on a micro level, so that the light can then start getting scattered again as it hits it, so that it's not shiny anymore. And then when I've finished the entire model, I give the whole thing a matte varnish, so that everything is the same level of shininess. and that's pretty much it. So what I'm going to do, I'm starting to get a bit hungry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one more stage tonight, and I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to grab a little bit of Stormhost Silver, and I'm going to go around this model and just having a look for any of these blood drops that we've got. And we will turn these blood drops red, turn them into big gems next week. I'm still in two minds whether I should the final stage of the matte finish over the entire model. Yes, it's with my airbrush, but it's not necessarily necessary. That was a lot of S's there. No, the final matte varnish isn't necessary. You'll get a decent enough finish without it. It's just, for me, I do it over the entire model because obviously the rest of the model is matte but hasn't had any varnish over it, whereas the transfers will have done. There are brush-on varnishes available, and in fact I use a varnish that can be brushed on. I just prefer to use the airbrush because it's quicker. So, what we're doing is just going around picking out these. I'm all the way up there. What am I doing painting all the way up there? Yeah, the matte stage. It's well, when after you've done the matte, after you've done the second gloss, the first matte is done with a brush, and I use a matte medium, much like the gloss medium. Only the difference being is it's a matte finish, and in GW form that's Lamy medium. And in fact, if you're only going to be doing a few transfers and you're not really going to need to buy a massive pot of 250ml of medium, the process is exactly the same. You start with hard coat. You put a coat of hard coat down, which is the gloss medium. You put your transfer on. Use water to move it around. When your transfer is dry and it's set in place, you go over it with hard coat again to lock it into place, and then just coat over it with Lamy medium. If it's still confusing after next week, I will be doing a video eventually about applying transfers. I think there might actually, I did do one in the past. I don't know whether I left it on the channel. So I didn't enjoy the video and it was a pain in the butt. If it's still there, you can still watch it. If not, there will be another one in the future. Probably when I get around to finishing the Dark Angel model. Oh no, it's not finished yet. I need to do this. I'm still painting all the way up there, look. I've made a mess on that. I'll tidy that up off of camera. I can see what I'm doing properly then. Other than that, that's all finished, and you can see actually the gloss varnish is almost the gloss medium is almost dry. It's almost dry on here. Can you see that? So it's really shiny, as opposed to the rest of the model. And all that means is that that's nice and flat to add. In fact, it shows almost dry. It's nice and flat now. Then when I add water to that, it's really going to help lubricate the area. So when I put a transfer over that, it will slip around and not get stuck. And the same on the front here. What's really important is when you do it is you do need to wait for every single layer to dry. It does take some time to do transfers, which means I might not get to do the entire transfer process on a live stream, because it does take a long time. And if I was going to try and do it live, I think even with 1, 2, 3, it's only going to be 4 transfers that I'll be putting to this model. Those 4 transfers could quite easily take like 2 shows just by themselves, and I'll start at the beginning and then it would just take forever. It's not really ideal viewing for a start, so we'll see what happens. We might get some of it done during next week, but then the rest of it might just have to be done off camera, because it takes a couple of days normally to add, you know, transfers. You know, you've seen on the Patreon project that I'm doing, that I haven't actually touched for a while. I've been adding transfers to that. There is, you know, it is shiny on there at the minute, but when I finished it, it'll just be completely matte. You can have a look through the pictures actually, Tim. If you go back onto Patreon and have a look, you'll see those pictures. And if anybody's wondering, the Patreon project is for anybody who supports me at $5 or above per month. However, speaking of Patreon, $1 or more a month, which is the lowest, you can have access to the Patreon only voting for what the next project is. And Tim is currently the only person watching, but feel free to comment after the fact and after the show's gone live for you to be able to choose or put in a suggestion of what the next project could possibly be. I will then shortlist them, and then my patrons help decide. Yeah, so I'm really hungry. What have we done today? We did the blacks today, we've done the gold, we've added some silver, we've added some matte, some glossy finishes to the model so we can get some transfers put on here. I'm pretty happy with the way this is coming out. It is slowly happening. Every time I put this on, I start scratching more and more paint off of this guy's leg. Next week we'll have some glossy paints and gem paints to do to him. Let's put him in where he belongs. Sit down properly, boy. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Right, so that's coming together nicely. That is really nicely. I tell you what, let's have a there we go. Let's have a decent look at this before we finish. This is coming together really nicely. I think it's starting to look like a Blood Angels tank bike, which is quite nice. We got some. It's looking a little bit bare around the back here, but I don't think that that's really a problem. We got some skulls. We got 1, 2, 3 skulls there to do. We got the skulls on the side of the bike, so that's the black. Some bone colours that we need to do. I have some brass to do on the guns here, so we picked them out. We got some browns, and like I said at the beginning of the show, I think I'm going to do this in a kind of an army style green, and then a bit of gold. But other than that, that's not too far off. We're almost finished here. Not a huge amount of some transfers. It is only a tabletop model, so I'm not going to be going crazy. I'm not doing crazy shading and crazy levels of detail, so I think this is coming together quite nicely, and this is going to look really nice when it's done, and it's really going to look the part. So there we are. So that just yeah, I'm quite happy with the way this is going. I'm looking forward to next week. I am getting absolutely starving, so I do need to go and get some food. And also, my kids are back, and I need to say goodnight to them and put them to bed and so on. So, thank you, Reese at the beginning of the show, Tim for the end of the show. Thank you very much for joining me this evening, and I will be back again. Now I don't know, the next screen you're going to see is the next planned video. I don't know if it will be the case, because I don't know when the next Conquest magazines are going to turn up. When they do turn up, I'll have 4, and I will know for a fact that the next 4 shows after that will be in succession every week. But it's just a case of only going to have to wait for them to arrive, which is a real pain. I don't like waiting for them to arrive, but it's what we're going to have to do. Yeah, so we're going to carry on with this. So hopefully next week will be the Monday show, which would be good. If not, me and Reese only just played Kill Team Tuesday just gone. You can see that game, and it did cut out because I was overtaxing the computer, but you can have a look at that. It's on my channel, you can have a look at it, and you can give your suggestions about what you want to see on a Kill Team game. If you enjoy watching a couple of people play the game and you know, showing you about how it is, your goodies. Right, speaking of which, yeah, it's around here somewhere. I've got your issue number 5, and you need to, we'll sort out issue number 8. Is issue number 8 out? Issue number 8 might be out. I might need to talk to you about that actually. I'll send you a message when I've finished here, and I will also send Wayne a message. Issue number 8 might already be here, and in which case we need to figure out what you want to do from there. So I'll send you a message when I'm done here. Yeah, so me and Reese only just finished, so feel free, check on this channel. You can have a look at the games. Let us know what you think about it. What do you want to see? Do you like watching that sort of thing? Maybe help us with what camera angles you want to see. I think we want to get rid of the dice tray camera, have one overview of the game table, and then one camera that will move around of what we're doing. It's a suggestion that was made. We might try that, something like that. Watch the shows, let us know, get involved. Don't forget to like and share this one. Even though it's not live anymore, YouTube won't kind of advertise it. So, you know, if you've enjoyed the show, feel free to like and share it, and subscribe to the channel and press the bell button next to it so you don't miss a show. If you want to help support the channel, as always, there is this that we're targeting. The Patreon link is down below and also in the chat. You can see it in the chat, and you can follow the links when we're finished, so that you can, you know, go to my social media, which are on the chat right now. So thank you very much for joining me. Thank you, Tim, for joining me. I'll message you in just a minute, and yeah, so thank you for watching this one. I'll catch you in the next one. Alright, Dara.